Sometimes I think that the United States doesn't really have talented people who progress and go up to the top. And most of the people at the top got up to the top because they made that quote unquote deal with the devil, or they were good at being a puppet or something. So sometimes I think that because, even things that we do or say that becomes popular, we don't really get credit for it. I think that regardless of what I do, I won't get credit for it, and somebody will steal my accomplishments and use it for their own means. Like to give an example of this, so it's like if I say that there's entrapment, which I mentioned that before, with what goes on with me, and I'll post a video about that, and then some media person in the media will use that for political reasons. They'll say, oh yeah, the liberals are entrapping the conservatives, and surprisingly, I don't know if this could be a coincidence. So there was a story about a gay pride flag being painted on a road, and there were these kids who were like scootering over it, scratching it or whatever. And the person, and I don't remember which of those people had covered that story, which of the people who have a platform, the conservative people who have a platform who covered that story. I have to actually go back and look at it again, but one of them said entrapment. And I was thinking, I've never heard them use the term entrapment up until after I used it to explain what was going on with me. Like, okay, I know this sounds far-fetched, and a lot of people would just be like, that was just a coincidence, and I will give you that. But sometimes I just don't really believe that 100%. So they were like, oh well, the people who painted the gay pride flag on the road were being entrapped, or were entrapping the people who were charged, like these teenagers who were charged with felony. They actually got hit with felonies, but they were charged with felony vandalism or something like that. Now, in itself, if the guy who reported it didn't come across like, I don't know, like maybe they're monitoring me, like depending, like if the Illuminati is gang stalking is part of the Illuminati, then the Illuminati would take ideas that I come up with, not even ideas, just things that I say, and kind of try to give it to his puppets. And they will have like these puppet people. So basically, both sides are controlled by the Illuminati. It would mean that both sides, like Republicans and Democrats, all their talking pieces are controlled by the Illuminati. So, like the Illuminati would take what I said, and instead of just being like, this guy has a point, they would take what I say and then give it to their people, in order for them to better make their arguments. Honestly, it's like trying to understand how Satan works, and we don't understand how God works. And how Satan works is actually pretty complicated too. like Satan is, Satan kind of has a mysterious, not a mysterious way, but how he can, how he could be on both sides. He's playing both sides. So he's kind of mysterious. He's kind of a mysterious figure too. So Satan, he'll have, his talking points, not talking points, but talking pieces, and have them fighting each other, and he controls both of them. Do you think that you get like 1 million people if you're some sort of, I don't know, Republican commentator or Democratic one? You think you get 1 million people and you get rich, and you're not, like these super popular people, like these people who get like hundreds of thousands of views and stuff. So it's like we're constantly fighting each other and nothing ever changes. So it's like everybody would feel like, oh, we should hate liberals, and then liberals would be like, you should hate conservatives, and both sides would be under the control of the devil. Both sides would be under the control of Illuminati, and that would explain why no one would talk about gang stalking. No one. If they do talk about gang stalking, it'll just be quickly forgotten. But gang stalking, think about how gang stalking never actually became a serious topic for either side. So they gang stalk me, and then I say things, and then they can take from me and then use it for their puppets, essentially. So like you find, Satan finds somebody, he finds a person of God, and he just bashes him up until he tries to defend himself, and then he says, hey, this is good stuff, I'll take this stuff, or how he defends himself and use it. Like, I don't really know exactly what Satan is up to, but it seems like his talking pieces in the world are trying to use what I'm saying to sort of further their agendas. That's why I said that I don't see Republicans or Democrats either side as good people. I don't see them as godly people. Anybody could claim to be a Christian. I don't see them acting Christian. It's like the person who's the CEO of Chick-fil-A. I mean, do I really think this guy's a devout Christian because he closes the restaurant on Sundays? So, I mean, people can say anything. So, like, it's important for me to do these things, or like that's why I keep saying, like, I'm not going to go as far as to say that they would use my misery or the fact that I decided to make a channel to further some sort of demonic whatever they're doing. Like, I don't know what Satan is doing with this. But it's kind of like you need to be careful because you don't know what Satan would do if you start responding to his demons. Like, you don't know what he's trying to get from you. So, like, I don't know what Satan wants to get from me, but it's obvious he's trying to do something. That's why I always say there's no way of knowing what effect me making videos would be. So, like, if I talk about entrapment, which is basically what's happening, I don't know. Maybe they'll start talking about it. Why they wouldn't just go ahead and put it out there and start talking about it before I called them out, because essentially that's what they're doing, is anybody's guess. But as I said, dealing with the devil is complicated. I don't consider any of these people who have been propped up and, they got these messages and they're talking about all these issues. I don't consider them people of God. People of God, from what I could tell, people of God are oppressed and poor. And I mean, really, we're oppressed and poor. Like, they have these talking points and they're like, oh, the Bible says this and the Bible says that. And these people are filthy, stinking rich. They're filthy, stinking rich. They got followers within the millions. And for a world that hates Christians, they are doing so well. For a world that hates Christians. I mean, Satan's world. And, and then they say things, and then they wait for me to say things, and they take things. And it's like the difference between Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison, how Thomas Edison is the person we remember and the person who got rich. And all he did was steal ideas from every apprentice that he had in order to build himself up. So Thomas Edison was a hack, and he was a fraud, and it didn't matter. He was the guy that Satan chose to go forward. Not saying that Tesla was a man of God or not, but Tesla was the poor man who produced all of the things that we rely on now, all the scientific achievements, but he was the poor man in a band that school doesn't teach. And Thomas Edison was the crook who stole from every single person underling that he had. So he had an apprenticeship in which he would bring talented people in, steal their ideas, take credit for them, sell it to the world, and everybody gives him credit, everybody gives him wealth, and the people that he stole the ideas from are thrown out to the streets to die in poverty. So that was Thomas Edison, and in a lot of ways it represents how the United States is. The United States rewards people for being easily controlled and antisocial. So you get a criminal who can do things or has certain talents that Satan can use, and then you can just get him to just, tell people or manipulate people as best as he can. And, you have other people who are not like that, and they can sort of manipulate them by oppressing them or terrorizing them and getting them to react to that. Somehow that works out. I don't know how Satan operates. But, the good people, I don't even want to say good people. The people who actually produce things that are worth something are always the people getting the shaft. It's always the unexceptional people, like their talking points or whatever. And these people have entire armies of writers writing things, and they'll steal things from people who can't defend themselves and oppress people. And this is what they do. They have like a whole team of writers writing all their material for them. Nothing they come up with is even original, and yet they're lifted up and like gods, and they haven't had original idea one day of their lives. You know, you do realize that all these people that we are trained to look up to have entire teams of writers coming up with all their material. They don't come up with any original material at all, yet they are propagated and lifted up as if they are so great. And they're no greater than a TV news reporter or something. I mean, these people will be just reading off a teleprompter. Nothing about them is real. They're puppets. And they're just out there, just, like Thomas Edison, finding people they can steal from and take credit from. And the United States, everything about this country is phony. And I think that's my big issue with this. No one who ever produced anything ever got credit and got good things from the stuff they produced. That's why I don't even know why Tesla bothered producing anything from this godforsaken country anyhow. Why do that if they're gonna screw you over and leave you poor anyhow? Like, I actually wondered if I became a scientist whether I could contribute to society. I would not contribute to society even if I knew I could. I just would not do that. I honestly made it my life's work to never become a scientist because I was afraid that I might actually contribute to society. Like, I am so against contributing to society, and I think we should learn from Tesla's example when you are trying to do that, how the world just throws you to the dogs, gives you the Jesus treatment. Every time you try to help people, you get the Jesus treatment. They nail you to the cross, leave you for dead. Every time you try to do something nice or help people. You see what I'm saying? Satan's country, Satan's way is to crucify and take advantage of good people who try to help you. That's what he does. The people who are the monsters are always the ones who get the credit, who get to benefit, who get the money, who get the followers and all that stuff. And they had no talent or anything to back it up. These people had no original ideas. They were nothing exceptional about them. They have a team of writers who write all the material. They steal every idea other people, better people than them, come up with and try to use it for themselves, manipulate people with it. We just have that type of country. We have that type of world. And, I always wonder, well, if I do this, will it come back and bite me in the tail, or will somebody use it for evil? And you never know. You never know. But I know one thing: no matter what I accomplish, someone else who is lesser of a man than I am will benefit from it, and I won't. That's it. And I won't get followers. Like, I don't have followers. I have the most interesting material on the internet. An actual conspiracy. And I have how many followers? I get 6 views. 6 views. That's why I used to say, I want to be honest with you people. I mean, I would say, I don't understand why a person on TikTok who does the stupidest stunt you've ever seen, this guy could just be a complete imbecile. Go out on TikTok and make a fool out of himself. How does he get 1 million subscribers and I show the world this and I only have 200? And then I have like all these people making these comments I don't like. You see what I'm saying here? Like, for all I know, my channel is not even being broadcast out there. Like, I've been shadow banned and every single person on my channel is a gang stalker, which is an idea that I haven't covered yet. And I think I might cover that idea after this idea because it's actually a pretty good idea. But with that said, let me go ahead and close.